Back. BTL episode 153 piece. Sorry, 152 piece. Jovan, are you alive?
Yeah. I'm alive.
Holy smokes. What a weekend that was. Do you want to address? You need to make a public service announcement here about TCU before we advance. I feel like you owe it to the people.
Do I though? I mean,
I
it
feel
was
like
a
you
great
owe
run.
people a little comment, on the
It
matter.
was a fantastic run. You know, or obviously would have liked to go out a little better in the championship game, but got to be proud of the season. Got to be proud of what it's going to do for the program. I mean, realistically, who's on the upturn or the uptick in the Big 12 with Texas and Oklahoma out? It ain't sure as hell ain't them. Sure as hell ain't anybody else really other than Kansas State. So I'm proud. I'm about it. We're gonna be good. I love it.
I mean, it's got to be so good for the program too, just recruiting wise, just to get there.
I mean, yeah. I mean, before the playoff game started, we were getting Bama transfers, guys that I was trying to recruit as a freshman when we were working in the recruiting office there and couldn't even contact. And now they're coming there as a transfer, and they did like a valuation or something, and this run generated like $2.5 billion or something worth of exposure. So I mean, it's nuts. And I mean, it's a great senior year to have, winning or not, but I'm excited for sure.
Okay. Well, hey, you can't win them all. If you did, you'd be Georgia, I guess. So we move, right? Sorry, that was a low blow.
Apparently, everybody thought they were going to be 7-5. So I mean,
yeah, I don't know what was going on with that. That was a weird comment from one of the Bulls on Georgia. Who thought you guys were going 7-5?
It wasn't even just him. It's a lot of them. A lot of them said the same thing. I'm like, damn.
I need to know who said that.
Shout out to Kirby for somehow being able to get that through their heads.
Kirby brainwashed them to think that people were saying they were going 7-5. What is he feeding these kids?
Yeah. Nuts.
Holy smokes. And if you didn't hear the Kirby pregame speech, it was pretty fucking electric. And probably worth a listen. Maybe start out your day with that, and you'll probably get more work done than most days, because that was electric. I wanted to run through a damn wall. All right. But hey, the natty's over, guys. College football's over. That means you got to start putting your coins more on kids missing free throws. Yep. Sorry. There, I said it. All right. Time to shift. We got more time now for CBB. I'm excited personally. We absolutely killed the college basketball season. I don't have the tweet in front of me, but I went 55% for college football this year. That pays. Okay. So we move. It wasn't an NFL, 60% for the season, but it was damn near close. Another good year. And we move. And now it's time for college basketball. And now it's time for college lacrosse. Okay.
Yeah.
Most importantly, college lacrosse. Yes. So today we're going to rip through some of these ball sack states conference predictions, right? Some conference talk. We're going to rip through that. We have our guy Capwise Ben coming up here for the first half to help us go over these, because he knows these conferences pretty damn well as well. Okay. He even played football in one of them. So he should know. No excuses from him. I trust him about these conferences, honestly, more than me in some of them. So we'll bring him up here in a second. We're going to go over Mountain West, American, 810, WCC, and I think Big Sky. And then obviously we'll dive into some CBB later, because that's pretty much all we got today. But there's plenty of games, plenty of opportunities to make money. Why don't we go ahead and dive right in and cut the shit? Shout out the Gators before we do that. Shout out the Gators. They're getting it done. They're getting back on track. Okay, 2 PODs in a row for the Gators. With that being said, let's cut the shit. Let's dive right in. All right, let's get Ben up here, and let's start going over some conferences. Why not us? Let's bring him up here. Boom.
What's up, boys?
Ben, how's it going?
I'm doing good, man. It is officially college basketball season, man. If it wasn't already, but now we're in full swing. So
whether we like it or not,
yes,
CBB, it's here and it's staying.
I'm really curious what Jovan thinks about TCU tonight, but we can talk about that later.
We'll
get into that.
We definitely will. Hell of a game tonight. There's a couple of those games. Well, Ben, I hope you brought a winner or two with you as well. We'll get to those afterwards, but I think we dive right in.
Let's do it.
I think we go right into the Mountain West and talk about them. Gosh, a conference that I feel like gets overhyped, or at least hyped up a lot every year, and then end up flopping every year in March. I can't tell you the last time a team in the Mountain West has won a game in March. It's brutal. And last year, too, there was 4 legitimate teams from the Mountain West last year. And correct me if I'm wrong, but every single one lost in the first round.
I think you're right.
This is what they do.
Yeah.
This is what they do. So I want to know your guys' responses. Obviously, I mean, Ben, I gave you guys all the categories, same thing as we did last week. Sleeper pick to win. We got, OG conference winner who we think is just going to win the conference. Best player in the conference. And then we got biggest fraud, biggest overperformer. That could be team, that could be player, that could be coach, that could be whatever. Okay. So why don't we go ahead and dive in? I'm more curious of your guys' opinions on this. I'm also going to give mine too, but we'll start with Jovan and go around the horn. Sleeper pick to win the conference. Who do you got?
Yeah, we can go by question because I want to do it like that. But
cool.
Mine is Utah State. I know you made a tweet yesterday saying they're one of the mid-major teams that deserves a lot more respect. And I think obviously the more I watched that game last night and the more that I've watched the last couple of games, they've really started to mesh as a team. Even though they've had guys in and out of the lineup, even though they've had guys like Ashworth have to be a completely different player, which was frustrating, but also cool to watch last night. So, I think that team
I wouldn't call it cool, but
I wouldn't call it cool, but I mean, he was a completely different guy with Ryland Jones out of that lineup, which was crazy to see. But I mean, props to him because that was insane. And this team is really putting it together. Taylor Funk out of this world last night, and he has been for a couple games. So I would be scared to play the team for sure.
Okay. Do not disagree one bit. Ben, what do you got, bro?
Yeah, so, I mean, the favorite in this conference has to be San Diego State. And the funny thing about the Mountain West from last year is I actually think it's deeper this year. I mean, if you look at the top 5 teams, you can make a legitimate case that they could get all 5 teams in.
We're doing it
New
again.
Mexico. Yeah, New Mexico. I mean, the tournament committee is going to have a hard time, but those teams are going to beat each other up. So we'll see what happens. Would you consider New Mexico a sleeper, even though they were ranked, but they're 0-2 in conference?
I would.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would too. And also shout out our guy DeGen in chat, obviously sitting in an airport, bringing over the subs and bringing over his squad probably too. So shout out DeGen for the sub banks. You're a beast.
Yes. Hell yeah,
Continue.
man. Yeah, I'm going to go with New Mexico. I mean, some people in chat may feel like, oh, they're not a sleeper, but they've lost 2 in conference. I think that they will be a team that come March, I think they can make a run. I really do. They have the defense at times. They just need to be consistent, limit turnovers, but I'm going to go with New Mexico as my sleeper.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I like that pick. We all have 3 different sleepers. We got 3 different ones. I'm going to go with Boise State.
Ooh, I almost
my
said
sleeper.
That one.
Yeah, a team that nobody's talked about, deservingly so. They've been kind of mid after getting gassed up a little bit here, but I'm going to go with Boise State, a team that actually took down that Utah State team that don't let them get hot. They've been getting hot. We know DeGen Hart is an absolute bucket. Now that Marcus Shaver is, back and healthy, he should help lead the team as well too. And in my opinion, they're well coached. I like Boise. I think they're a sleeper, and I think they're getting hot after a rough start. I like the Broncos as my sleeper pick. Thoughts?
Hey, that was a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly.
Okay.
It was in between Boise State and New Mexico for me.
Yeah.
But I'm serious, guys. I think the Mountain West may get 5 teams in.
Hey, they might, and they're all going to lose. So we'll know what to think, right?
Yeah.
It's clockwork. It's literally clockwork. Every year we do this, and we're doing it again right now. We're literally doing it. And we have to do it because they're good. These teams should be good, and they always melt. But hey, it's not March yet, right? So we can gas these teams up.
Utah State can take Kentucky's spot this year in the tourney.
Yeah.
Bro, us 3 can take Kentucky's spot in the tournament. Jovan, who do you got winning the conference? Short and sweet. Let's keep moving. Who do you got winning?
Yeah, I'm sticking with the favorites. I think SDSU pulls it out. I just think they have so many different offensive options. Offense is improved. They're not as bogged down in scoring points this year. So I think they're the ones who get it done in the end.
Okay. Same.
Ben? Yep.
SDSU. I mean, they're a veteran bunch. They have the experience, defense. Yeah, I got to go with the Aztecs.
Same. I'd be shocked if they don't win. They're, like you said, Ben, a lot of good teams in this conference, but San Diego State is different. They're different.
They are.
With Matt Bradley and Trammell and a great coach, and with Alex Subbangs that we got coming in here too. I don't know if they're from Alec, but let's fucking go. Whoever's bringing the Subbangs, bringing the energy today, good shit.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll result in winners. Ever heard of karma? Love it. But yes, San Diego State's winning this goddamn conference. Okay, and honestly, best player in conference, I'll kick it off. I got Matt Bradley to go hand in hand with it. He's a pro. He's the best player in the conference, and he's heating up. I know they didn't cover last night. They fucking pushed. Depends what number you got. You might have lost, but Matt Bradley, watching him play these days is fun. He's hitting threes. He can get to the rack. He plays defense. He does it all. That's who I got as best player. Jovan?
I'm going to go with our new mortal enemy, Stephen Ashworth. That's who I got for best player in the conference because, again, after watching that game last night, as frustrating as it was that he wasn't scoring, he got it done in so many different ways. And without Rylan Jones in that lineup, he had to be a facilitator, which I don't think anybody expected, and he did a masterful job at it. And I think he's one of the reasons that Taylor Funk is able to do what he does on that end as well. So seeing him just be kind of a versatile option for that team, who I think is the sleeper and I think is going to be a real force in this league, and the way that he shoots the ball as well when he is forced to, I don't want to touch him. I think he's the best player in the conference.
Okay. Doubling down after that prop last night.
Yeah.
Sure. Ben, what do you got?
So I like both of those. I'm going to go with Jared Lucas, the transfer from Oregon State.
Okay.
I've seen this guy in person play. Man, when he gets hot, he can get real hot. I mean, he had a run in the Pac-12 championship. I think that was 2 years ago. Dude's a baller. He's looked really good this year. I mean, his points per game almost up to 17. I think he is going to have a nice run into March. And, I mean, his team's going to have to make the playoff or make the tourney for him to get that notoriety. But I really think that he's going to be a guy to watch for in the next 2 months. So I'm going to go Jared Lucas.
Okay. I like the pick. I like how we're diversifying the portfolio. Love it. Biggest fraud in the conference. This is an easy one. I'm going to go Hunter Maldonado. I don't care if he doesn't have anybody else. I'm tired of him. He's not good, especially when he's on TV. Don't care if the rest of the team's hurt. I'm tired of making excuses. He's not that guy. He's a fraud. And I don't know why I ever thought he was that guy. He's not. I'm so out on Hunter Maldonado. He's making his way to Davidson Foster lawyer territory with me. It's not good. It's not good. That guy's losing me coin left and right.
That's dangerous territory.
That's strong.
It's not where you want to be. It's not where you want to be. Trust me. So I'm out on Maldonado. He's the biggest fraud in the conference. Jovan, what do you got, bro?
I got Nevada. I think they're sitting second in the conference, 4-1 in conference play, 14-4 on the year. It's because I don't believe in many of their options outside of Jared Lucas and Blackshear, to be honest with you. And a big reason why they were as good as they were in non-conference play was because they had guys like Will Baker, he's just not good. Call it what it is. He's feasting against teams like San Diego, feasting against teams like Norfolk State. It's the only reason they looked any sort of balanced in conference or non-conference play. And scratched a couple of wins early in conference play with some big performances from some of their guards, but I don't believe in that team. Otherwise, they've had a couple of big comebacks, one like we saw last night to get that cover by the hook, depending on the number you got. But I'm not a Nevada fan. I don't think they're that good. I don't think they're as good as their record shows and as they've played.
Could not agree more.
I'm going to go with Colorado State, man. Obviously, no surprise they're 9-9, but man, they've had some bad losses. And this was a team with Isaiah Stevens coming back and being healthy that I thought would be in a better position this season. I mean, they lost to Northern Colorado, my alma mater. They've had some bad losses. San Jose State, they just lost to Air Force last night at home. Terrible loss. And I just think in the conference play, it's not going to get much better. It's a tough situation out there in Fort Collins. And, yeah, RIP to the Rammies.
He is. And also, we're getting hella sub bangs. People are happy we're back, by the way. And, yeah, I do hate that guy. Sub bangs from our guy, Garrett Lambert. You're a fucking beast, okay? People are absolutely bricked up that we're back today. Yeah, we're back the rest of the week. We're absolutely attacking the card. All right? Awesome. Yeah. Foster Lawyer. You know the worst part about Foster Lawyer is that now his brother is costing me coin too. It's a family affair now. He's brought in his bro. And he costs me coin every time I fucking fade him too. It's unbelievable. It runs in the family. I don't understand it. All right, we move. Biggest overperformer in the conference. I'm going to go San Jose State. This team has been fun to watch, I think, to say the least. People are calling them the new Dunk City because they have some serious forwards who can throw it down. It's reminded people a little bit of FGCU. This team absolutely throws down hammer dunks, and they're winning games. Do I think they'll be here towards the end of the season, at the top of this conference? No, but, these guys are usually basement dwellers, and they deserve a shout-out. They've been overperforming. Do I believe in this team? Are they going to go to the tournament? No. But right now, they're playing great. So it's got to be San Jose State for me. Jovan?
Yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet. I got to say New Mexico. They're out of their mind. I don't think anybody expected them to be this good. I know they're starting to kind of level off a tad, I guess you could say, early in conference play. They look beatable, but playing out of their mind. Mashburn, Jalen House, been better, I think, than anybody expected, so I'll stick with them.
Okay. Ben, what do we got, bro?
I like both of those, but I'm going to go with Krabs on San Jose State. The only reason why is because I actually was high on New Mexico to start the season. I have receipts on Twitter too talking about New Mexico, and that's the only reason why I'm not putting them in here. But I like San Jose State for this because I'm just shocked that they're even 12-6 right now. I thought they would be closer to 8-8 or whatever the math is on that. So I got to go with them. And yeah, you're right, Krabs. They would have to win the conference probably to get in the tourney just because they don't have a quality non-conference win. I mean, they lost to Arkansas by 42, or actually, yeah, somewhere around there. It was a bad loss, but I think overall, the way they've started to play in conference, they can build some momentum. We'll see. Dangerous team, man.
100%. 100% agree. DeGen, safe travels, my man. Safe travels. Yes, it is Arkansas tonight, DeGen. 100%. Thank you for leaving with us with that note. All right, let's go to the American Conference, and we do got to pick up the pace a little bit because we got 4 more of these pups to get through, and I want to hear what you guys have because I know it's smart shit. So let's power through American Conference. Sleeper pick to win the conference. First of all, conference winner. I think we can all probably agree that it's Houston, and they're probably going to win this conference, right? They absolutely own it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So sleeper pick to win the conference. And in my opinion, I think anyone else you can probably give for this category because that's how, dominant Houston is. I'm going to go UCF. I think this UCF team has been very, very impressive. And I think they can shoot the absolute living shit out of the ball. They're only a game back in the conference standings. Them and Temple are right there with Tulane as well. But I like this UCF team, man. I think they can shoot the ball and they can score. And I've been impressed with what I've seen out of them so far. I like UCF as a sleeper. I'm not a believer in Temple as much, although I think they might have more talented guys on their roster. But I like what I've seen out of UCF as a team. I think they're a sleeper to knock off Houston potentially to win the conference. Jovan?
Yeah, I'll go Tulane. They're guys who can really score, and I really, not to disagree with UCF, but if we're talking about a team that's going to win with defense, that's probably not one that I want to compete with Houston. So just for the contrast of styles part of it, I think Tulane's a team who can obviously score. They can get to the rim, fast pace, especially when they want to be. So I'll take them. They've been playing really well this year.
I'll go UCF. If you look at their schedule and their losses, they only lost by 2 to Miami, lost by 2 to Missouri, and then Houston lost by 6. So they're in those games, and I think that they're going to give Houston the best chance of not winning this conference, but it's still got to be Houston. But I think UCF, I'm surprised that they've played as well as they have. Like after that UNC Asheville loss, I thought they were like it was just the first game of the year, but I was like, this team's no good. And then they've been covering and they've been winning.
Okay. 100% they have. 100% they have. Trent, how we doing, bro? He's back. He's alive. Good. Happy he made it home safe. All right, I'm going to go best player in conference. I'm going to try to change it up. I'll be happily surprised if you guys took this guy. This is a guy who I think will be one of the best NBA players from this conference, at least from, the next couple of years. I don't know when he's planning on going, but he's only a sophomore. I'm going with Khalif Battle. If you guys have had the chance to watch this kid play, he can get a damn bucket, and he's big, 6'5", guard. He's scrawny. He's $175, but he's only a sophomore. And when this kid's on, he's the best player on the floor, whoever he's playing. And I think he's very impressive. Look, I guess the easy answer for this, I don't know. I guess it would be Marcus Sasser, maybe Kendrick Davis. He's a dog too. He's putting up 20 points a game, but I like Khalif Battle's game as a sophomore, and I think it'll translate extremely well to the NBA. Personally, I like him as the best player in the conference. Jovan?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take the second guy there. I'll take Kendrick Davis. He's, like you said, averaging 20 a game, leading a Memphis offense that really without him is absolutely no direction. And on the other side of the ball, Memphis is very undisciplined, but he's actually been playing really well and really improved defense this year, which is huge for that team. So he's been absolutely everything for that team, him and DeAndre Williams. So I'm going to go with him there.
Ben?
I'm going Sasser. And the biggest reason for me is he averages 15.8 points per game, but if he played in a faster pace offense, I think he's averaging closer to 18, 19. I think his numbers are just lower because of how they play offensively, but I think if you look at a well-rounded guy, I have to go Sasser.
Okay, and that's very fair. I think that's probably the answer that makes the most sense. But with the way Kendrick Davis has been playing, my goodness. And also Zurich Phelps, honorable mention. That guy will be in the NBA. He'll be in the NBA. He's good.
Hoping he plays or doesn't play today.
We'll get to a little banged up. Okay.
We'll get that.
Biggest fraud. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Wichita State. They are not sharp every game, guys. They don't cover. They don't win. I'm out on them. They're a fraud, and they're not good. And the books need to stop respecting them so much. Jovan?
ECU. I think they had a decent run with a really, really soft schedule in non-conference, and they're starting to get exposed by some better teams, better offenses, better defenses, whatever. They stay in games for a little bit, and they've had some close losses, but that's another team that I just don't believe in. It's starting to show.
Ben?
I'm going to go Cincinnati. So right now they're sitting at 11-6, but they've lost 2 out of their last 3. I think after it's all said and done in conference play, they're going to be right on the bubble. I don't know if they get in or not. It's a team that I've watched. At times they look impressive, but we will really see when conference play really gets into full gear come February. But I think I'm pretty confident with that one. I think Cincinnati's going to start to trend downwards.
Okay. Yes. Any team that has Landers Nolly on it is going to trend down. So I'm with you on that. Biggest overperformer. I'm going to go Tulane. I don't know much about this team. I really don't. I didn't know much about them before the season, but Jovan, you were just gassing them up, and I'm looking at some of their numbers. I mean, they've been incredible. Jalen Forbes, the once Bama player, he's been incredible for them, almost averaging 20 points a game. They can score, man, a lot of different ways. And this team coming out of nowhere, this might be Tulane's best year athletically ever. I mean, with what they've been doing with football too. So shout out Tulane, the Green Wave, one of the best mascots and one of the best courts in college basketball. They're my biggest overperformer in this conference, coming out of nowhere, in my opinion. Jovan?
Yeah, and I mean, if I didn't have them as my sleeper, I'd probably go with them as overperforming too. But I'm going to go with Temple. I know that team's a little more talented, so it's not like they came out of nowhere. But I think, especially in terms of what they did in the non-conference season, getting big wins at what we thought, I guess, at the moment was a bigger win in Villanova, who's starting to play a little better now. Big win against Rutgers, who, again, is really doing well this season so far. So they come into conference play, and they've won a few games, and they're starting to put it together. They're winning close games, which is something they've really struggled with, closing out games in these past couple of years. So Khalif Battle and the guys, they got rolling today, rolling together. Loving them this year.
Okay. Ben?
I'll go UCF. The biggest reason for me is they were outside of the top 100 in KenPom and Bart Torvik, which is another site I like to use. They were up to 125 after that loss to start the season, and now they're all down closer to 35. So I definitely didn't expect that out of the Knights, but here we are. So props to the Knights.
Props to the Knights. Agreed. They deserve it. They deserve a little bit of gas.
Big game today, though.
Yeah, huge, to say the least. To say the least. Let's move to the A10. This is a conference that I love. A lot of teams kind of around my area too, but it's a down year for the conference, I would say. That we're seeing Dayton heat up a little bit here. I can get it kicked off here with conference winner. Speaking of Dayton, the way they've been playing of late and with their size compared to the rest of the teams in this conference, I personally don't think anyone could beat them. And I think they're locked in. And now I'm finally starting to see why this team was ranked preseason. My goodness, was it a bad start. But ever since they played my Hokies, they've really turned it around since that game. So I think Dayton wins this conference easily. Jovan?
Yeah, same here. I think you talk about their size, everything about that defense. You can say their offense is a little inconsistent at times, which it is, but nothing about that defense is. So I don't know anybody who really has the offense to get past that long term throughout the season.
Yeah, their defense has looked really good. I'm with you on Dayton. I mean, their 3-point defense, it's no joke. They've only had one game where essentially they allowed a team to shoot well from three. That was BYU back in November. I mean, if teams can't hit threes on Dayton, I mean, they could – I don't want to say they're going to run the table because they'll slip up somehow, but, man, I don't see them losing another, 1 or 2 games the rest of the year until the tourney.
I don't know if they're going to lose a conference game the rest of the year.
Yeah, they'll be favored in every one. Yeah.
It sucks. I'd love to say that VCU could make a run and do it, but I just don't think they have the juice this year or the length to keep up with Dayton. So, all right. What about sleeper pick? Jovan, why don't you get us started, bro? Sleeper pick. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go with our boy Day Grant in Duquesne. I think they have another team that's put together a lot of strong performances, and they have the shooters. They've been putting it together, not just Day Grant, but they got plenty of guys in that team who have really, really impressed me. And we started off, I guess, a little mid, in conference play, which I thought they're going to get out to a little faster of a start, but they got a nice schedule coming up here with a lot of the bottom tier teams and probably the biggest fraud in the conference coming up in a few games. So I think they can get on a nice little run here. Maybe they're the team that eventually goes to upset Dayton. I wouldn't be shocked.
Okay.
I'm with you, Jovan. Duquesne. Fun story about their head coach. You guys may know this, but he coached LeBron in high school, Keith Dambrot.
I did not know that.
So fun little nugget there. Yeah.
That's why LeBron was at the game earlier this season, right? Everyone's like, what the hell?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They're like, what are they? Yeah. I bet, did Day Go off that game? Probably.
I'm sure he tried. I'm sure he got a shot.
At least he tried.
You know that.
Yeah.
He's
fun to watch.
Shots.
Yeah. Yeah. That's hilarious. But yeah, I mean, they're a team that I'm going to have my eye on. I mean, probably not a tourney team, but who knows? You get hot in that conference tourney, man. Anything can happen. So,
agreed. Sleeper pick for me. I'm going to go GW. Look, I know GW probably matches up the worst with the best team in the conference, Dayton, but if they can get there and make some magic and hit their shots in the finals, who knows? This GW team is very, very talented. They're small, though. That's the issue. But they've got some of the best guard play I've seen in college basketball this year with Brendan Adams and James Bishop. So that's who I've got as my sleeper pick. Do they have the size to keep up with any ranked team in college basketball? No chance. But in a conference, in a down year, I think this small team could make some noise. And they got a bunch of old dudes, transfers, and it's worked out great for them. I like this GW team. They can score. That's my sleeper pick. Jovan, who do you think is the best player in the conference?
I think it's Deron Holmes. And we talk about Dayton and their size and why they match up so well with every single team defensively and offensively. It's mainly because of him. And he's a force down there. He's got 7 double-doubles in his last 10 after he started off, I guess mediocre, a little slow, I guess, earlier in the year, especially on the boards. But he's put it together. He's a dominant force. He's like the A10 Oscar Tshiebwe. He's absolutely unstoppable. And, again, he's the reason why nobody's going to be able to stop this Dayton team in conference play.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to go with Holmes, too. I mean,
okay,
he's playing bully ball, man. he's really playing good basketball. I'm curious if he wants to stick around or if he will transfer to a Power 5 because he seems like that type of guy. I don't know what he feels about that personally, but we'll see what happens. I haven't seen his projected stock or whatever, but man, he's playing good ball.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go with the guy I already mentioned, and it's the absolute bucket getter in James Bishop, who's leading the conference in points. The journeyman. Transferred from LSU after a year, but kid's from Baltimore too. So he's got to be a good kid, along with myself, also born in Baltimore. Went to a school in my conference, actually, which is kind of funny. But this kid can absolutely get a bucket, and I really hope he gets a chance in the league. I know he's super small. He's listed at 6'2". That's very generous. One of the best bucket getters and one of the guys who can go out there and drop a 40-piece. He's already done it this year, and he could do it again. He's the only guy in the conference that can do that, in my opinion. So I've got him as the best player overall in this conference. Might not be the best NBA player out of here, but he's the best player in the conference. Jovan, biggest fraud. Who do you got?
Fordham. Keep it short and sweet. I think another team who feasted on a pretty soft non-conference schedule, and you can see that like leading up in the beginning of A10, I think it was Dayton and maybe one other team, Davidson, or a couple of teams they played at the end of the non-conference season too. They have some very short lines, so I think it's kind of in alignment that Vegas has also taken a very strong stance on this team and saying that they are not the team that had those results that they did early in non-conference season. They had a couple good wins, Tulane, a couple of the Ivy League teams, whatever you want to call it. They're not that good, so I'm sticking with them.
They're not that guy, pal?
No, I don't think so.
Ben, who do you think, my man?
You know who's not that guy?
Who?
Travis Ford.
Oh,
I'm going with St. Louis, man. I heard so much talk about St. Louis headed into the season. I mean, they were ranked at Bart Torvik around 40. They're currently sitting like right outside 100. And they have talent, but I don't know what's going on because if you look at the team since Ford came in, this is his 7th season. They made the tourney one time, but I doubt they're going to make the tournament this year. I think they're a fraudulent team. So I'm going with the Billikens.
All right. I agree. Unfortunately, I was one of the people gassing them up preseason, but I hate what I've been seeing. I don't
blame you. I mean,
yeah,
on paper it looked great, but
yeah, misfire. Biggest fraud. I'm going to go Foster Lawyer. Davidson sucks. He can't do it by himself. It's pretty clear that team last year was stacked. This year, when it's just him, they can't do shit. That's why they're in the middle of the conference, and they're going to be falling short, pun intended, in conference play this year. Foster Lawyer, biggest fraud in the conference. All right. Biggest overperformer. I'm going to go GMU. We'll get the ball rolling on this. George Mason. Don't let George Mason get hot. Don't let Odoro get hot. One of the most underrated players in basketball, in my opinion. I am extremely high on this team. I think they're very well coached, and I think the sky is the limit. And look, Victor Bailey, now they get a guard who can score as well too. So give me George Mason, little school in Virginia, as an overperformer. Good to see them playing well and winning games. Jovan?
Yeah, I had GMU too. I think it's going into the year, you all think it's going to be the Oduro show. So now that we have Victor Bailey and a couple other guys playing well around him, they're playing really well and they're stringing together some wins. So I have them too.
Ben, you got?
I got a player.
Oh, let's go. We'll switch up.
So I do agree with what Jovan said about Fordham, but I do like what I've seen out of Darius Quisenberry. He's the transfer from Youngstown State. This is his second year at Fordham, but he's pushed up his 3-point percentage from 31 to almost 38% from last year. He's looked good out there. He's playing efficient basketball. Just a fun guy to watch. But I do agree, though, as a team, I don't think they're going to make any noise.
Okay. Awesome. Well, we just powered through all those. Look, I want to do one more conference. I know we're definitely getting short on time here, but Ben, I think since we got you here, we might as well rip through the Big Sky here real quick. If you're cool with that, I think we'll probably push the WCC to another time. But let's move to Big Sky. I want Ben's opinions for sure. Jovan, we can start with you though. Big Sky, who do you think wins this conference?
I'm going to go with Montana State. It's the team that has been there before, and I like what they do defensively. So, I mean, it's not much of anything because I don't believe in too many of these teams surrounding them, and they've started off, I guess, a little slower than I think some people have thought. Ben, you can touch on that if that's the case, but I'll stick with them.
Yeah, I'm with you. Montana State, they're the team. I mean, they brought back almost everyone from last season. They have the tournament experience. Yeah, so I gotta go. Gotta go with Montana State. I was trying to think of another team, but it's got to be the Bobcats.
I have them too to win. Bayo is a stud, and you can see across the court he's got those specs on. Never heard of contacts. Don't need them. Don't want them. Sleeper pick to win this conference. I've got Weber State, a team that got off to an atrocious start, but has shown some life and has upset some teams. Don't let Weber get hot. And I mean, Damian Lillard's probably not walking through that door and suiting up his shoes. So they're probably not going to win the conference, but I like what I've been seeing out of this team of late. Historically good program, middle of the conference. I think they're a sleeper pick to win it.
Yeah. I'm going to go Idaho State, which I don't know if it's a team that I believe in kind of in the long term, but they've started off hot, and you got Brock McKenzie, who keeps them in games by himself. He has these random blow-up games. He'll drop 8, then he'll drop 25. It's kind of a sequential thing. But their defense keeps them in games too. They've played a lot of low-scoring games where they've either been in the game or even pulled it out in the end, and I think that's a big reason why they've started off so hot in conference play with their 3-0 start, despite only being 6-10 on the year. So I think this hot start could kind of carry them to get hot at the right time, and maybe they're in the mix come later in the season. Who knows?
I'm gonna go Montana. Montana has a player, Josh Bannon. He's a forward, really sneaky, athletic guy, really skilled. Montana's a team that they play Montana State twice coming up here. They're probably going to win one of those games. They're a sneaky little team. The Big Sky tournament's always so much fun, and they played out in Idaho. So that's definitely a team I would not be surprised if Montana ended up making a run.
Okay. Don't let Montana get hot. This is when it gets tough. Bottom of the barrel conferences like this. I like that, though.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. What about best player in the conference, Jovan? Anybody in this conference sticking out that we're going to hear in the NBA in like 2 or 3 years and be like, where the hell did this kid come from?
Yeah, I don't know about the NBA, but I'm going to go with boy from NoCo, Dalton Necht. He is – I love volume scorers in conferences like this, and I can't even tell you from watching a couple of these games, especially earlier in the year, the impact that guy has in the game for this team. I can't even imagine if they would even be anywhere near afloat without him as part of that offense. I mean, he's taking 15 shots a game, facilitating the offense, getting to the free throw line, which is really the only one who does that. And he's just, whenever you watch a game, he's taken over, regardless of who they play. And he is that offense, literally. So I love watching him play.
Okay. Ben, what are you thinking, my man?
I'm going Raekwon Battle, Montana State. He's a transfer from Washington. His numbers are a little lower than maybe they could be, but that's just the way Montana State has been pushing the pace this season, playing a little slower. And they've been up in games too, so he doesn't really need to go crazy offensively, but he's super talented. He's one guy I could actually see playing in the NBA. Seems like a G League guy, but definitely a guy I would have to put up here. Also, another one, Jalen Cone. Is that who you were going to mention, Krabs?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Ex-Hokie.
Yep.
Don't let him get hot. He can shoot the shit out of the ball. He's so tiny. Gosh, one of my not biggest regret because I wasn't on the coaching staff and don't have any fucking decision making. But one of the things that upset me the most was when Jalen Cone left. I really like this kid, and gosh, we could have used him this year too. But he's hit his stride. He's averaging 17 points a game. It's good to see him thrive. I've never seen a guy who shoots threes and jumps higher more in my entire life. If you guys have watched this kid play, he jumps like 3 feet in the air when he's shooting a three. It looks so weird, but then it goes in. He's awesome. And it's good he's found a home there in Northern Arizona because he really just didn't get respect or play much here, get much PT. And I know he was bummed at VT. But he is one of the best players, one of the best recruited guys, kind of like the guy you mentioned, Ben. Bigger name, maybe not the most points per game in this conference, but a hell of a player. Hell of a player.
Oh, yeah.
And he's third in conference in points per game, Jalen Cone. Don't let him get hot. All right. Biggest fraud. Jovan, you got a fraud in this conference?
Yeah, I'm going to go against you a little bit. I'm going to say Weber State is the biggest fraud in this conference.
Wow.
With the way that they play and have played, I guess, for years, they play a lot of up-tempo style, which is, I guess, diminished a little bit now, but it's because it has to be. And they can't shoot the three ball, which when you play like they do and they have the atrocious three-point defense that they have, especially as of late, it's not holding up well. And I think that's the reason why they've struggled, I guess, especially against teams like Idaho State, who really has no distinguishable strength that they can take advantage of or anything like that. It's just, I don't know who it is for this team other than, when it's not the Dylan Jones show, where are you going to go? And especially when you don't have the shooters coming out and shooting from three like they're supposed to, or like they have, or like you need them to be. So I'm going to go with them. I don't believe in that team. Okay.
Ben, what do you got, bro?
Oh, man, I hate to do this to my alma mater, man, but I got to go Northern Colorado. They've looked bad, man. And the defense, it's just not there. It wasn't there last season, and I thought they would potentially improve a little bit under the coach for I think the third or fourth year, but it's gone the other way. And teams are coming into Greeley where they play at, and they're just getting their way, shooting open shots, just getting layups. So I got to go Northern Colorado. I hate to say it, but man, they've let me down.
Yeah, that was mine too. I remember hearing you and a couple other people gas this team up a little bit in the beginning of the season, as they should, because they've got some bucket getters on that team. But yeah, they
got to play defense.
They couldn't guard a parked car, right?
No.
So I'm with you. Biggest fraud, I've got Noko as well. Biggest overperformer, I'm going to go Dalton Net, like our guy Jovan just said. Him and Dalen Kuntz. Is that how you say it? Kuntz?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. They are awesome. Honestly, it should be probably both of them. I mean, they're averaging almost 35, 40 points a game combined, and they can both score. That's not the problem on that team. It's not offense, but those guys have been overperforming and have been playing great. Great. So that's what I got for biggest overperformer. All right. Jovan?
Yeah, I got Eastwood Washington, who has been playing really well, and they're a year removed from losing the Groves brothers, and they had a terrible season, I believe, last year. They're 13 and 18, I think I saw, and now they're putting it together. They're top of the conference right now, I believe 4-0 in conference play. They're playing really well. They got guys like Allegri stepping up. They got good guard play, which they need, without a real big inside presence. So I think they've played really well and outperformed a lot of expectations this year for me.
Okay.
Eastern Washington.
Out, my man.
Eastern Washington. Yep. They've won 6 straight, going for 7. They were picked, I think, near the bottom in the conference, and they've exceeded expectations. So they're 4-0 in conference, and see if they can keep it rolling.
Don't let them get hot.
Don't let them.
All right. Well, we just absolutely powered through some of these ball sack state conferences. Hopefully gave you guys some ammo as we, sort of dive more into college basketball now that college football is over. And hopefully that gave you guys a baseline for betting these dick butt state games, right? Because sometimes that's the only games that are on, right? Ben, before you go, I do want to go over any plays or play that you absolutely love. I told you to bring a POD. I know you came strapped. What do you got, man? What is your favorite CBB play of the day on the slate?
Do you want the total or do you want the side? I got one of both.
I want both of them. Give me the total first, though.
Okay, total is going to be Missouri. And why am I spacing who the hell they play? Texas A&M.
Yep.
It's kind of trending downwards with line move, and Missouri, I think, is a team that maybe we touched on earlier, or maybe it was you and Nick who you basically were just saying that they started super hot. They're starting to cool down. Texas A&M plays really good D. I think this is going under. I think it's at 151 is where I grabbed it at.
Okay. It is going down. It's going down a point. I don't hate it either. Yeah, sell in this Mizzou offense. I agree. I've got to play in that game too that we'll get to. I think the chat can probably guess what I'm on. And then side though, Ben, what is your favorite side for the college basketball?
Let me pull it out of this hat like Sharping says. Oh, would you look at that? It's North Texas. No, it's in the North Texas game. It's actually it's going to be a Louisiana Tech. It's going to be Louisiana Tech taking the points against North Texas.
Okay.
This is a low total. I think it's like at 120. This is model supported, and I think Louisiana Tech can keep it within 9.5. I'm just seeing what it's currently at right now. It looks like it's still at 9.5.
9.5, 9. Yep.
Yeah, I like it. Super ugly play, but give me Louisiana Tech plus 9.5.
I like the splits as well. Okay, so big bets on Louisiana Tech today. Sure. All right, Jovan, any thoughts on those plays, my man?
I do I love taking, plus 9, plus 9.5, anything to keep it within single digits in games that are touching, totals of 120. I know that this game didn't exactly play out like the low scoring game that we thought it would, but the Cal Stanford game, that was a couple days ago, right before we left for LA, it was kind of the same scenario and blew them out of the water, which that was a crazy game. So that's another conversation, but I like that play for sure.
Okay. Yeah, Charlie, make sure she moves that car so that you don't get a ticket, my man.
Yes.
Awesome. Yes. Well, Ben, obviously appreciate having you on here and talking about some of these conferences. It's hard to find people in this industry that are knowledgeable about some of these conferences. So got to pull in guys when we need them. And we'll have you on here again soon, my man. And let's go get a cover from Louisiana Tech. Hey, don't even need a
cover. Yes.
Let's get a good game. We just need a good game in that one.
50
right?
to 57.
Okay,
That's
there it is.
There
it is. If that hits, go buy a lottery ticket. All right,
I will. Mega Millions. Hey, they actually pulled the Mega Millions in Colorado. So, hey.
Wow.
Yeah,
could have been you.
Could have been slacking. Me. Yeah, I know.
All right, Ben. Well, we'll have you on here again, my man. Have a great night. Good luck on your bets. All right, my dude.
We'll see you guys.
We'll be seeing. Peace. Beast. All right. Now we can dive in to some plays because you guys have been bitching about it the whole time because you have about as much patience as a walnut, just like me. Let's dive into plays. All right, let's do it. We'll cut down the conference talk a little bit next time, but there's games we got to talk about. All right, there's games we got to get to. Plenty of them. We might as well start in that game, that Mizzou game. I mean, Jovan, what the hell is going on with this Texas A&M and Mizzou spread? What is going on?
Yeah, I don't know. And it seems like this would be the perfect time to sell Mizzou. But, I mean, on paper, yes, they were a little disappointing against Vanderbilt in that game. But they won it at the end. And Texas A&M, horrendous three-point defense. And they're going up against one of the better three-point attacks in college basketball. So why is this line 2.5 up to 4.5? You tell me. You know where we're going to have to be.
Yeah, I don't get it. I can't find any injury shit. I'm going to have to be backing an old friend tonight in Buzz Williams, a guy who changed my life for the better. Shout out, Buzz.
That total trending down, too. I know it's high to begin with, but total trending down. And like,
it's got to make you like A&M more, right?
100%. Because like I said, I mean, something's going to have to give if Texas A&M, the way that they match up with this team, which they don't match up well, if they're going to win this game, they're going to have to stop them from three, which not really. There's been nobody who's done that against Missouri this year, realistically, other than maybe a team or two. So A&M's going to have to do that today.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to exactly correlate here, but I'd assume that if this game goes under, that's a W game script for A&M here. And with that total going down, it's going to make us feel pretty good, in my opinion. So that's kind of where my head's at with this one. Don't hate the under one bit that Ben brought, but I think I like A&M at a nasty number. It has moved from 2.5 to 4.5, so they might win by 3. But shit, man. A&M laying 4.5 to a ranked Mizzou team that does nothing but win is weird. It
is.
Have you looked at the splits?
I haven't looked at the splits.
Well, it's definitely some fatty bets. 30% of bets, 68% of handle on A&M's. My goodness.
Pull it up. Why don't
I got it right here, Jovan. I can do it, brother.
Okay.
Let's see what we got. Boom. All right. So, yeah, I mean, if you look at these splits, they are fat, some fatty bets coming in on A&M. I'm assuming you can see this.
Yep.
Cool. 30% of bets, 68% of handle. The ML,
beautiful.
Also fine. Okay. Mizzou's going to be a public dog today. The plus 4.5 looks free. It's probably not. We move. Jovan, any other games that are catching your eye, man? What about Creighton?
I guess
2.5 points to Xavier.
Yeah, that one's a little strange, but I mean, we can talk about TCU Texas while it's here on the screen because it's going to be a great game. I think this is going to be a game where maybe TCU comes out and struggles a little bit initially, but I'm not going to recommend fading them on the full game minus 6.5, as large as that may look, because again, I say this every game. You got to remember TCU and what is used, like all the ratings, all the KenPom, all the everything that is used to calculate the spread. And they look at the first couple games of the season, winning by 1 against a Pine Bluff team who they're favored by 35. They lost outright to Northwestern State. They had a couple other horrendous no covers and it was really close games too. Messes up their ratings for pretty much any spread that they're going to get almost the rest of the year. So especially on the road, line looks long. They're going to for a couple weeks. So I think from a basketball standpoint, Texas is really going to clog the lane, which is why they may struggle coming out of the gate a little bit. If you're going to play Texas first half, I don't think that's a terrible move, but long term for the whole 40 minutes of this game, I think that TCU does keep this one within 6.5.
Yeah, I personally don't, and I won't be betting on a public dog like that. I mean, my body wouldn't even let me do it if I wanted to. But I'm
probably not taking them, but I'm certainly going nowhere near Texas, whether they're my team or not.
Okay. Fair. Noted. Definitely weird. Definitely a fatter spread than I expected. I thought this would be closer to a PK. But damn, they're giving some respect to Texas here. Probably a little too much respect. Probably a little too much respect. You're probably getting an extra. You're probably getting an extra point or two because of that buzzer beater the other night too. So against TCU, right? So that helps. It would probably be around 4.5 if TCU wins that game, in my opinion. So, you get extra points here, plus 6.5. Yeah, on paper it should be close, but damn, Texas laying 6.5 is mad respect. I am off that game. I'm off. What about we might as well get to it, and we're seeing a little bit of pullback on it. Maybe the game of the year. Two teams, literally all they do is win, all they do is cover. One team, definitely on my no bet list, definitely on my enemy list, UNC Dubs against Charleston. If you guys followed me last year, you know that this UNC Dubs team went on an insane college basketball streak last year, especially at home, and pretty much doesn't lose at home. They're playing College of Charleston, who just doesn't lose in general. Now, College of Charleston has some serious problems playing against this UNCW team who beats them every single year. And UNC Wilmington has been just as hot as the College of Charleston wagon. They got off to a slow start this year, but I'm pretty sure they've won like 13 games in a row or some shit like that. So both teams are absolutely on fire. This is going to be one heck of a game. I need to see what the splits are here, but my goodness, this should be a good one. Now, the spread opened up at Charleston -1.5, and it got all the way to 3.5 this morning. I don't know, Jovan, did you see any 4s or no? I didn't.
Not quite. I'm just starting to see the 3.5s.
Yeah, and I was seeing more 3.5s this morning. Now I'm seeing more 3s and some 2.5s, Jovan. So it's starting to pull back towards Wilmington's. I told myself last night or yesterday when that spread, when the spread was coming out, I said, if Charleston opens up at a pick'em or between a pick'em and -2.5, I'm going to have to be on UNC Dubs here because Charleston's going to look like hella bait to the public. They're sitting outside that number right now at 3, and I hate that it moved from -1.5 to -3.5. I like that it's pulling back for Wilmington here, but it's probably going to have to be a stay away spot for me at this point. Wilmington doesn't lose at home. I wanted to take them, but they are definitely bringing in some coin, although Charleston's bringing in some coin on the ML. Look at those ML splits, about 80% of bets and handle. What are you doing in this game? A battle of wagons.
Doing nothing. This, to me, is an unbettable game. Because this
doing
is
nothing.
Especially, I mean, you talked about UNCW is an absolute wagon at home. Charleston's just been a wagon, period. And both of them have been wagons against the spread. I don't want to be involved in this movement kind of back and forth along this, call it what you want, 2.5, 3.5 line. I think spread and everything aside, and look at these teams, this is going to be a game that's decided on the last possession, whether it's, a buzzer beater shot or a shot and free throws or whatever it may be. And this movement back and forth kind of is telling me that it's going to be decided with some free throws at the end, which I don't want to be a part of. And I think it's going to be a great game to just sit back and watch. I am a little cautious. I mean, back in the UNCW, because I think every time I've watched them, they've really struggled giving up offensive rebounds. And Charleston, every time we've taken them or faded them, they've absolutely feasted, getting second chance points. They're absolute magnets on the offensive glass. So I think if they take control of the offensive glass early in the game, that is a lot of trouble for UNCW, whether it's in their house or not. So I'm a little weary of taking anything in this game.
Yeah, I honestly think I'm just going to be sitting back, relaxing, and enjoying the show in that one. That's going to be debatably the game of the day. Take away rankings, take away whatever names of the schools. That's going to be an absolute battle. And if you love college basketball and you're not watching that game, I don't believe you. I don't. That's going to be the battle of two of the best mid-majors in college basketball, maybe the best matchup of mid-majors we see all season. And it's going to go down to the wire. It's going to go down to free throws. It's going to get ugly. And let's hope the Charleston boys pull it out. All right? Awesome. And yeah, Chelly's PODs, man, they have been printing. I need to know what he's on today.
Smacking.
I need to know what he's on today. Absolutely need it. Okay. What about Bama and Arkansas? You think it's a little weird that Arkansas is a favorite with still no Nick Smith probably, with how good Bama's been playing? Now Arkansas is at home, and damn, it's hard to win an SEC game on the road. But Bama's been the better team this season. Plain and simple, Bama's bringing in hella tickets, hella bets, maybe not as much handle. Let's see if I can find this damn game real quick. But I want to go Arkansas. Shocker. You guys probably could have figured that one out. I like Arkansas in the spots. No Nick Smith, no problem. What I saw out of this team, here it is. Finally, Jesus. What I saw out of this damn team, Arkansas, against Mizzou the other night, about a week ago, was heart. And it was a well-coached, well-oiled machine. We saw other guys step up. Look, I don't see a way that Arkansas loses this game. Bama's a little too young and too raw, in my opinion, to win a game on the road like this. And I talked about Arkansas last year. Don't let them get hot. It's my sleeper pick in the conference. It starts tonight. It starts tonight against Bama. I think they get it done. I like the splits, too. Look at this. They're beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely great. Absolutely great. And it is it's a tough place to play, no question. And that definitely makes you lean a little bit more towards the line making a bit of sense, but the line flip, and I think you see with Bama, the thing is they're a super young team, and when you think of disastrous Bama performances, whichever they may be, it's because they're sloppy and they turn the ball over, and they're facing an Arkansas team who absolutely excels at forcing turnovers, which I think is going to be the point of emphasis. It's going to be that, and if they can get the ball inside, because scoring on the inside against Bama is not going to be easy, and Arkansas is coming off of a performance against Auburn where they were absolutely atrocious shooting from three, and they've had a couple of those games recently as well. So if they can force some turnovers and make it a classic sloppy Bama offensive performance, that should be the game for them to win. Absolutely.
This is the something's got to give game of the night. Yeah. Bama hasn't lost a game on the road yet. Arkansas hasn't lost a game at home yet. Bama traveled to Houston and won. Somebody in chat said that. Cody, good call. Bama's battle-tested on the road. They've won as a young team. It's impressive. In my time following college basketball, that's tough to keep up going the whole season, especially when your best player is a freshman. I don't care how good he is. Playing on the road in CBB matters. They can't keep getting away with it. I think Bama is the one that gives, and they get their first loss on the road this season.
Yeah, and I mean from – I guess a scheduling standpoint too. I mean, this is Arkansas's biggest game for about a week, which I think is huge because they play. They go to Vanderbilt this weekend, which they're putting all their eggs into the basket for this game. Not that they wouldn't anyway, but having Arkansas playing Vanderbilt on Saturday makes me a little more comfortable taking this midweek game.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Let's go to UConn and Marquette. You in for that?
I'm in for that.
Okay. This is a tough one, man.
It is.
This is a tough one. UConn laying 2.5 here on the roads. They got back on track in their last game, pulled out a win against an interesting Creighton team, to say the least. They covered 2, but don't let Marquette get hot. They're winners of 4 in a row, covered 4 in a row. They're taking care of biz. Speaking of taking care of biz, UConn has beaten Marquette the last 4 games. So, yes, UConn has lost 2 of 3. Yes, they're not the covering machine they once were early on, but Sanogo should be able to feast. I think the forwards on Marquette, like Prosper and Joplin, you think these guys are going to be able to put up a fight against Sanogo and UConn, or do you think he's going to absolutely grub today? Who do you think pulls this one out? Spread consensus move from -2 to -2.5 on the road for UConn.
Yeah, I can't get myself to fade the Huskies here because, like you said, that advantage on the inside is large and it's pronounced, and it's going to be that way. I don't think anybody's going to be able to stop Sanogo. I don't think they're going to be able to put up a fight on the inside. The only way they win this game, and not that it's impossible, but they're going to have to absolutely shoot the shit out of the ball from 3, which Marquette is no stranger to, absolutely, but when the advantage on the inside is this big for them, they haven't been performing very well. Call what it is. I like this Marquette team kind of down the line. Like I when we were talking about the Big East, picked them as my sleeper to win the conference, but I don't know if today's the spot. And DeGen was saying, and we were talking to him, very similar line between that game and the Xavier game, and I kind of lean Xavier as the one to slip up a little bit more than this UConn team. So not sure if we get 2-0. Not sure if we go 0-2. I'd probably lean staying with UConn here.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I like the splits on Marquette. I lean Marquette. I'm definitely not betting UConn, but I'm probably not betting anything. Because, Marquette's, you'd be buying Marquette at pretty much their highest point here.
And pretty much buying UConn at almost their lowest.
Selling UConn at their lowest, right? Coming off of two other last 3 losses. So it's tough. Probably a stay away spot, but definitely lean Marquette. I would not be taking UConn on the road here in this spot.
And Bagel's right in chat. This will probably be a good game to live bet. I don't see anybody coming out getting throttled, to be honest with you. It'll be a close game.
Okay. Maybe you can grab 10 points either way, right? Maybe a team goes down early, you got 10 points, it closes up by half. Sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Duke Pitt, any thoughts on this one? Duke's at home, so they should be able to win. Shocker that a young team with a rookie coach and all freshmen can't win on the road. I don't know why everyone's shocked. It's college basketball. It's damn near impossible to win on the road. Don't care who you are. Pitt has been incredible. Yes, I know they're finally coming off a loss to Clemson, who's literally been Providence of the ACC this year. They're coming off a loss. Pitt is. Look, Pitt, very old seasoned team. They was pretty much makeshifted and glued together, and it's been sturdy. It really has. But they're coming off a loss. Look, I don't want to take Duke really ever. Not until they lose a couple more games and I can really buy the basement there going into the second half of the season. But the move from 7.5 to 8.5 definitely keeps me off Pitt. That's for sure. You think Duke rolls?
I don't know if they roll, and I'm very hesitant to take them myself. But the one thing that stood out to me, yes, I can say I was kind of expecting a loss for Pitt, I guess, in that Clemson game, or at least prepared for it because Clemson's been really good. I really like that Clemson team, probably a little bit more than Pitt. But the one thing that stood out to me is PJ Hall, who is, again, a very good center, very good big man, feasted on the boards, which is not something that he is particularly known for. I mean, he has that was his second double-double of the season. He had 12 and 10. Wasn't particularly efficient from the field, but that was really of no cause to the Pitt defense. But they're letting PJ Hall do that to them, and they've struggled against size all season. I don't know how they're going to hang with Filipowski in the middle. I really don't. I think that's going to be a real big problem for them. And if Duke is enforcing their will in the paint early, I would not like to have my coins on Pitt. That is for sure.
Okay. Yeah, no thank you for this one. Okay, let's see. Can you still see screen?
Yeah.
No? Cool. What about Indiana and Penn State, Jovan? Don't let Penn State get hot. Who the heck expected this team to be here at this point? And look, yeah, they've come back down to earth too. They've lost to 2 really good teams in their last 2 that they should have lost to, Purdue and Michigan. So what do you expect? Indiana hasn't covered since Nam. They are softer than butter. You get the players complaining about letters that the fans are writing about the team being soft. They're complaining about that. That's pretty soft too, but also don't be a freak and write those letters to players. But this matchup is interesting. I mean, it's not a great matchup for Penn State, a team that's pretty guard heavy and relies on a lot of shooting. Trace should be able to get his on paper in this matchup, but Penn State is the favorite here. They have moved from 2.5 to 1.5, which makes me lean Indiana. Don't love the splits, obviously, but in games where the spread is within a couple points, it might just be better to look at the ML and the splits are okay. They are what they are. So I'm kind of thinking, looks like you're pulling something up.
Yeah, I'm just leave it there.
Okay.
Yeah,
making sure nobody's hacking the mainframe while I was looking at the splits. Trace Jackson Davis, 9.5 rebounds.
That's what I'm looking at.
Low? Is that a little low?
I mean, you can say it's a little low. I think it actually might have gotten bumped up since last I looked at it. So I think we were seeing 8.5 a little earlier. We can work to confirm that a little bit. Yeah, 8.5 to 9.5. But a lot of this, I mean, Penn State, they have struggled, another team who struggled with any sort of size. And I've seen it a lot. They don't even try on the offensive end to get on the offensive glass. And this is a team who, one, they're missing a perimeter defender, so there's going to be more trips to the hoop, but they're also missing Race Thompson, who, of course, is competition for boards and on the inside. So I just don't see, regardless of how this game plays out, how Trace Jackson Davis does not get his, at least in the glass. So I think he'll be dominant. I think this is pretty similar to the Edie spot that we played against Penn State on, what was it, last Saturday, where we were, over in God knows where. But this is what I'm looking at for this game. The splits are a little interesting, and the line's a little interesting to make me think that Penn State's going to have to win this game or be able to win this game somewhere else, which on the perimeter with Pickett and a couple of guys is not crazy to think about. But I don't know if I want to touch that game from any side or total, but I certainly would like to get my hand at TJD on some squares.
Yeah, that might be one of those squares that just hits,
Yeah, this might.
It just
and he's coming off of a crazy performance with what he had, like, I think it was 24 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, 24 boards. But, that's not going to happen again. But the volume and the chances are certainly going to be there, especially without Race playing today.
And the total's going down, so we're thinking some missed shots, maybe less points than expected, more rebound opportunities, right?
Penn State, they're going to have to slow the ball down, realistically. That's what they're going to do, and they're favored in this game, obviously, too. So if it's their kind of game, it's going to be slower pace.
Okay. Somebody in chat asked if they should cash out their Penn State ML. Personally, I would not want to be on Penn State in this spot. I don't want to tell you what to do exactly with your money. If you like Penn State, you like Penn State. But for me, this is either Indiana or no bet, personally. I think, like you said, Jovan, no Race Thompson makes the spread even weirder, to be honest with you. Who else is going to be helping out Trace? I don't really know. Nobody's really been showing up. So it's really going to be him against the whole team. But matchup-wise, he should absolutely grub. Absolutely grub. Give me Indiana in this spot. I definitely lean that way. All right. People are asking about the Hokies. God damn it. Do we want to catch the falling knife or what, guys? Now, I will say there is some good news today. I'm pretty sure, finally, Rodney Rice is making his debut tonight. So, me personally, I won't be betting on the Hokies. I really don't know what we're going to be getting. I don't know how he's going to mesh with the team, but they seem pretty excited. And Mike Young has made it pretty clear that this is the shot in the arm that the Hokies need, because we've lost 4 games in a row, guys. And there were 4 games where we were the favorite in all of them. All of them. Vegas is still respecting us. They're putting us at -3 on the road at Syracuse. And Syracuse has been playing better than we have. Nothing special, but they've been playing better than us. So it's definitely some respect. But like I just said, VT has lost and not covered their last 4, and they were favorites in all of them. So VT's overhyped a little bit by the points. Or they're playing like shit, which I think it's the latter, to be honest with you. I know this team has it in them. Pretty much the same team from last year, barring a couple of switch-ups. But I lean VT. I'm not buying good news. So I will not be taking us with Rodney Rice making his VT debut. But maybe they put him in the game and he's just an absolute stud. Maybe it fixes everything. We need another scorer, and he fits the build perfectly. So I think we do cover and win, but I'm not betting it myself. I can't. That's where I'm at.
I don't want to buy the bad news myself or the good news myself with that, because I do think it's going to possibly take a toll on that offense a little bit, because, they've been – is Padula still out, right?
No, it's Couture who's been out. It's Couture who's been out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think he's coming back anytime soon. Game time.
That's tough.
If you followed VT Hoops this year, unfortunately, and I think any center against us rebounding is a great look, right?
Yeah.
We can't rebound to save our lives. How old is Rice? They've been hyping him up for a minute. He's a freshman, my man. Freshman from DeMatha. He's going to be a fucking beast. I'm so excited for him, which is why I can't bet us today. And we also opened up -1.5, and we're sitting at -3. I like our splits too. And Sean Padula is an absolute dog. He's awesome. Yes, this Jesse Edwards prop is going to hit.
Yeah, I like the Edwards prop. I like the Edwards prop.
I like both these. Keep those in your little queue thing you're building over there. Keep them in your slip.
Yeah, we're keeping it. We're keeping it.
Okay. Would you look at that, Jovan? Eastern Tennessee is a favorite again. Why?
No.
Why?
No, just move on.
What's your favorite bet today?
Oh, Lord. It's a great question. Definitely been pretty tapped into the props, not gonna lie, but
okay.
A lot on the board, a lot that we talked about.
As of right now. It could change. If you have a play of the day later, it's okay. It could change.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Could definitely change. I'll tell you what, though, if I'm keeping my eye on Zurich Phelps, if he's going to be playing today, and if he's not, and SMU, I hate to do it again. If they're sitting 4.5 at home, that's a crazy line, and I'm going to have to be on them. So if Zurich Phelps is out, that's probably my favorite play on the board. Because, I mean, they're coming off a game where they got absolutely smoked, which, I mean, they've gotten smoked quite a few times because they're absolutely atrocious as is. But I don't know how they're going to be able to run with Tulane in theory or on paper without Zurich Phelps, without their entire offense, really. So that line is really, really crazy if he's not playing, certainly. But other than that, if he comes back and he is playing, I probably would have to go Texas A&M.
Yep. That's the play. That's the one. That's the one that's gonna get you out of your hole, chat. That's the play.
Yeah, I love that one. Love that one.
All right.
Another one too, sneakily, that I've been looking at a little bit. You know, I like the repeat games and to see what the spreads are different or whatever. FAU game is really interesting. Because FAU has been pretty much the greatest team of all time, really. And they played, what was it, December 17th, played at FAU, won that game by 26. Spread was -15 in that game. And now we come to today. They're playing at FIU. And the line's gone 10.5 down 9.5 some places. Which, for as well as FAU has played, beating UAB outright, they've strung together a ton of wins of 14-1, so it's not like they've lost pretty much ever. They've won a handful of games in a row, really good against the spread. FIU has been playing a lot better recently. They do love the run, which is not the best matchup for them, but this line is a little crazy, so I'll be paying attention to the way that moves and trying to get in on a good number so we avoid a push like the Incarnate Word situation from the opener.
Okay. All right. Ollie's on St. Joe's. Let's see. Let's take a peek at that game. He keeps bringing it up. Let's see what we got here. St. Joe's getting 3.5 points to Duquesne. Duquesne moved from -2.5 to -3.5 consensus. I mean, yeah, I lean St. Joe's at home. It's definitely a nasty play, but I don't really know what you've seen out of St. Joe's to want to take them, Ollie. To be honest, this looks more like a Krabs play. But I do know that the St. Joe's team is better than this, and Duquesne's going to be very public today. Those are two things I do know. G-Unit told me to take TCU plus 13.5. Well, I'm sorry, Columbia Nandy. We'll get those units back. All right.
So I'll tell you a gross one that I've been keeping my eye on a little bit. I might have to take USF plus 23.5 against Houston. I think that USF with Tyler Harris and co, they're able to slow the game down a little better than SMU, who's at a similar number with Zurich Phelps, is able to do. They got Tyler Harris, they got Russell. I don't even want to try and say his name, but Big Russ in the middle who can swallow some boards, really good on the offensive glass. So able to get some second chance points. Maybe they can keep it a little closer. I think this is going to be an ugly game, so the tempo is going to be, again, a little different than that SMU game. I don't think Houston's going to be able to run up the points as much in this game, and I think it's a lot because of possession time, everything like that. So I think this is a hold your nose play that we skirt by with like a 20-point USF loss.
Yeah, that's gross.
It's gross.
That's gross. Just keep my eye on it. Just might work.
Just keep my eye on it.
Keep your eyes peeled just in case. Just in case you end up playing it. USF is bad. Yes, Jeeb. Nobody said they were good.
Oh, they're horrendous. Terrible.
They are terrible. Yep. You got to know what you're signing up for when you're taking these teams. All right. Let's talk about Baylor and Dub V real quick. And then we'll go to the squad ride. All right. Baylor opened up around +4. Now they're sitting around +1.5 against Dub V. I can't stand either of these teams. You got any thoughts on Baylor and Dub V? Two overvalued, overrated teams that stink.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
I'm good. I'll just leave it at that. I think it's going to be a barrage of threes in this game from either team, at least attempts. Who knows if they're going to make them, but West Virginia is overvalued game in, game out. Baylor is the same thing, and Baylor, I don't think the market has quite caught up to just how bad their defense is in terms of looking at the totals of some of these games. So I would lean over in this game, but I don't want to get anywhere near touching the side because who knows what West Virginia team is going to come out. Who knows what Baylor team is going to come out. Keontae is going to have to be actually playing for 2 halves of basketball, unlike he's done pretty much all year. So I don't want anything to do with it. And yeah, Jalen Bridges' revenge game could happen. Could happen.
All right. That is interesting. Yeah, that game blows.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the squad ride. I say we put in our guy Ben, our guests POD in Louisiana Tech +9.5. And then I think we throw in a play each that we like and we roll with that. I think Mississippi State -4.5 is probably going to be going in there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't believe I'm not on Boise State tonight. Corey, there's a lot of time, brother. Plenty of time.
Yeah, we'll be diving into the college basketball slate, full slate a little later. We're doing what we can right now.
Okay. Yeah. Let's put Texas A&M in there. Let's put our guy Buzz in there. You want to put him in -4.5? I mean, we kind of have to.
Yep. Don't really have an alternative.
Okay. And then you got another play you really like? You want to put Arkansas in there?
No, we can leave Arkansas out.
Okay.
So I want to see how that moves. A
lot of people are already on them.
Yeah. A lot of people are already going to be invested in that. We don't need to add to it.
I like Army. Army -1.5 against American at home. I like what I've seen out of this Army team recently. We could put Marquette in there. We could put
Indiana.
We could put Indiana +1.5 in there. I'd be totally okay with that. I may end up being on that myself.
Yeah.
You want to put Indiana in there?
I do. I mean, kind of goes with the prop, what I think is going to happen in that game, at least on the interior.
Okay. Yeah, Budman, that's actually a great idea. I'm not going to lie. A little Texas two-teamer on the MLs, a little Texas ML. Yeah. Jovan, put your earmuffs on. A little Texas ML, a little Texas A&M ML. Yeah. And Dilgod, we will go through the whole college basketball slate later, my man. But for now, it's time to vote. All right, we're going to run 3 plays, 3 winners for the squad rides. We got 3 plays we love, Louisiana Tech +9.5. We got Texas A&M -4.5. And we got Indiana +1.5. All right, that's what we're rolling with. Go vote. Go. And also follow us on Pickets. All right, we're back. We're local. We're firing off bets, so you guys know. Use Pickets, all right? Keep yourselves held accountable, all right? You can't be losing all your coins. You got to be able to pay rent. You got to hold yourself in check and make sure you know how much you're winning, how much you're losing, all right? And Danny, I don't hate UNCW, brother. I don't hate them. They own the wagon. Out of respect, I can't. I can't be fading the Charleston wagon.
Can't fade the wagon, man.
But yes, follow us on Pickets, okay? And yeah, Charleston is they're sharp proof, I guess would be a good word to do it. They're sharp proof. Yeah. Doesn't matter what's sharp, what's not. They win, they score, they cover. I feel like a psycho betting Indiana tonight, but let's ride. That's how you know it's the right pick, Columbia and Andy. I'm going to vote for Indiana now. I just saw that.
Yeah,
I'm voting for them.
I'm actually looking through the PP board again, which I've seen a couple smart people. I think somebody said G units on it too on this Texas TCU under. This is the first time I think I've seen the entire starting 5 up for TCU or both teams for every single prop. So if this game is going a little bit under, I wouldn't be shocked.
Okay. Coin Thieves going to the greatest state on earth, Maryland. Have fun, Coin Thieves. Stay out of Baltimore. You'll be okay.
There you go.
Howard Stern comes again. What is the Pickett username? Krabs with a K. at Krabs. And then I'm sure it's at Jovan_Deeb. Is that what yours is?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Sure. All right. Go vote in the poll. Hurry up. Go, 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 go. We got 2 minutes. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Go, go, go. In my opinion, Indiana gets blown out tonight. Haven't won a road game since early November.
Is that true?
Huh.
No way they do it without Race Thompson and Xavier, right?
I'm starting to like Indiana more and more. Selling high on a Penn State team that probably shouldn't be this good. Buying low on pretty much just Trace Jackson Davis versus the entire Penn State team, which for him shouldn't be a problem. No Race Thompson, no problem. That spread moving down, a little weird. Penn State wouldn't be laying some more points in that matchup with no Race Thompson with how Indiana's looked on the road. Little suspect for a team that hasn't won a road game in months to only begin 1.5 to a really good Penn State team that's one of the best first half teams in the country, one of the better teams just shooting wise in the country. Damn, even that sell job couldn't do enough. Texas A&M squad ride. Love it. Absolutely love it. Wofford plus 3.5. Let's take a peek. We got a minute. I don't know, man. Samford, Wofford, I'm pretty sure won like 13 of these matchups in a row until Samford finally stole one last year. I think I'm good. Okay. And Trent's dropping stream link. Sure. We're back. Colombian Andy, I have the feeling I'll be on that one with you, brother. And I think Jovan probably. I wouldn't be surprised if Jovan already is.
Yeah,
he sneak nuked it as we're on here.
I'll tell you what, I'm hovering above the game right now, hovering above the button.
Okay. Well, chat, we're back. Appreciate you guys obviously vibing with us today. Tomorrow we'll dive into some more CBBs, obviously. And as we head towards the weekend, we got some NFL playoffs. We've been killing it with the NFL. We've been killing it with the cheat sheets. As always, we appreciate you guys' support. Go follow us on Pickets. All right. Deploy responsibly tonight. All right. Take the big 3, take the PODs, take whatever you can, but don't bet more than you got. All right. And have a hell of a night. All right. It's only Wednesday. All right. Make sure you guys save some units for the rest of the week. All right. We'll be seeing. And watch that